Hello everyone, Ace here, and today let's talk a little bit more about video game history, and in the process, answer the question, what exactly made Joust great? First released as an arcade game all the way back in 1982, before being ported to multiple different systems, and spawning a sequel, Joust is an absolute beloved classic from the era, featuring the unique premise of knights jousting each other by flying on various types of birds. But to understand why this game is so beloved, let's now move on to what exactly made it great. And I believe that there are two main factors to consider. The first being the amount of emphasis that this game places upon your skills at flying within it. This may sound strange, but it is, I believe, important, and allow me to explain why. Most flying games in the era, and most combat flying games in general, by design utilize ranged combat as the main method of engaging enemies. Now, depending on the game, it could be represented by missiles or lasers or good old-fashioned ballistics. However, the main thing to keep in mind here is that your gunnery and marksmanship skills are equally important in those kinds of games. By contrast, the combat in Joust is exclusively melee themed, and thus it is entirely built upon your skills at actually flying, which is further emphasized by the unique control scheme that Joust utilizes, as you control your rate of climb and descent via flapping the wings of your bird. A simple and elegant, albeit effective, means of doing this. All of this combined at the time to provide a very unique experience as far as flying games are concerned, and thus made the game stand out in its own unique little way. But let's now move on to the second thing that helped make Joust great, that being its contributions to co-op themed gameplay. Now granted, Joust was not the first game to offer co-op. It was, however, one of the first games to truly popularize the concept, and in addition to this, it still managed to make its own innovation in the genre, as Joust's co-op introduced the idea of having certain stages that were co-op themed, but then also getting certain later stages that were competitive themed, in which the players were expected to battle one another. And yes, Joust appears to be the first game to actually implement this as a feature, meaning that, for example, games such as Castle Crashers can trace the lineage of their design in some ways all the way back to Joust. With all of this in mind, this has been Ace, and I hope you'll agree when I say that Joust is great.